Now today we're looking at the Genesis G90. I'm sure most of you know that Genesis has now become its own brand instead of a model that's made by Hyundai. So Genesis has two large luxury sedans. They're going to be adding SUVs and sports cars to the mix, but right now this is the top of the line flagship. Used to be sold as the Equus. Now this car has all of the luxury features you could really ever want, but it begs the question, what makes a luxury car and a luxury brand? On styling, it's got that very large and imposing Germanic look to it. You can see different styling elements in the car, maybe the grille from Audi, the front hood maybe looks a little bit by BMW, in the back maybe a tip of the hat to Mercedes-Benz. And it kind of brings a lot of that German feel because Peter Schreier is the head designer for Hyundai, Kia, and of course Genesis, and you can see that in this car. Now it's a big car and it's their top of the line, but it is less expensive than many competitors in this class. You could look at the A8 from Audi or the S-Class or the 7 Series from BMW and on and on and on, but Genesis does it and fills it with all kinds of quantity at a price that's less. So this is the G90 with the 3.3 liter turbo 6-cylinder engine. That's their entry level for the G90. And this model is $84,000. There's only one real option you can put on this car. That's to throw in a 5-liter V8, and that gets you to $87,000. That includes freight and delivery. It's an all-in pricing that Genesis has gone to. More on that in a moment. Let's have a look inside to show you what you get, and you get a lot. So what makes a luxury car on the inside? Is it wood? Is it leather? Is it satin finish? Is it features? Yeah, it's all of that, but there's more, and we'll get to that at the end. This car is so well equipped, you really have no options. The only option, as I mentioned, is the 5-liter V8 engine you can get. And with that, I should have mentioned on the outside, you do get LED headlamps that are not standard on this car. You get HID headlamps. But on the inside, full leather dash. The doors on the tops and even on the sides are covered with leather, wood. You get a beautiful 12.3-inch screen here in the center with a control unit. You typically see it in luxury cars. 7-inch TFT screen behind the steering wheel. You get a heated steering wheel, heated and cooled front seats, heated and cooled rear seats. You also get a valet switch here for the front passenger seat. If you have a passenger in the back that wants to stretch out, you can put that seat forward. You also get conductive charging. You put your phone in there and it wirelessly charges. That's all great stuff. Now the control unit, I'm not mastering it after a week, but I have been away for a few days, so I haven't been driving it exclusively for a week. I do, however, like the fact there are the redundant buttons here on the dash, and I've been using those the most. But yeah, it takes a little while to learn these systems, but you know what? It's a beautiful, bright display, great around view camera, all of the features you really expect from a luxury car. Now, the seats in the front, 22-way adjustment for the driver's seat, 16-way adjustment for the passenger seat, and you get 14 or 12-way adjustment depending on which seat you're on for the rear seats. So this is an opulent car on the inside, and it comes standard equipment with this particular model. And the other thing you have to do if you have a luxury product is put it together with impeccable materials and refinement. And there is no doubt in my mind that this car has the fit and finish becoming a luxury vehicle. Everything, all the buttons, all of the switches, all of the leather, everything just impeccably put together. So first-rate materials. But does that make a luxury car? So what makes a luxury car in terms of drivability? Well, you have to start with powerful engines, and Genesis equips this car with two excellent power plants. Now there's a 5-liter V8 that is 420 horsepower, but the engine I have in this car today is the 3.3-liter twin turbo that I think is absolutely the star of this car. I have thoroughly enjoyed driving this engine, and I gotta tell you that if I was choosing this car, this is the engine that I would get. It has 365 horsepower. Because it's twin turbocharged though, it has so much usable mid-range torque, and when you put your foot into this, whether it's in the city or on the highway to pass, it delivers wonderful power. So that would probably be the way I would go. Now, what else do you need for a luxury car? You need adaptive suspension. Sure enough, there are drive modes here. You can go from The smart setting, which is basically automatic, changes the parameters of the car as you drive. Sport, which is what I've been driving this car in. Eco, to give you the greatest efficiency and the smoothest ride. And there's individual settings where you can tailor the suspension, the throttle, and so on to your taste. That's pretty common stuff in the luxury realm these days. The automatic transmission is quick to adapt, and I've had no problems with the drivability of this car. It's a big car. It's a full-size luxury car. It isn't going to be the handling choice if you're going on a back mountain run, but if you want a big, comfortable, luxury-feeling car that's quiet and smooth, this will do that all day long. Now, a couple of years ago, I drove the Kia K900 that's based on this large car platform. Now, this car has evolved away from that, but that car was way too soft, way too pillowy, had no dynamics at all in the corners. But this car has the best of both with the dynamic chassis. You can dial it into the way you want, and in sport mode, it actually is pretty good. Then you have to ask yourself, what is the luxury ownership experience? And Genesis has done a great job of providing that for owners and potential owners. They have a system where they will actually bring the car to you, let you test drive it, and deliver the car to you. And whenever you need service, they'll pick it up at your home or your office, take it in, leave you another car, and drop it off. And that's covered for 5 years. Then you add in sort of the all-in pricing at $84,000. That includes the car, the freight, doesn't include the tax, but it also includes updates for 5 years, the maintenance for 5 years, the map updates, even your satellite radio subscription is included for 5 years. And I've been asking the question, what makes a luxury car? And at the core, it really is history and heritage, with Mercedes-Benz being over 100 years old, Cadillac over 100 years old, and so on and so on. These car companies have been cultivating a following and a heritage that a new car company just can't compete with. Look at Lexus 30 years after it's been introduced. They make fine cars, but in my eyes, they're just not at the same level as many of those German competitors. They make wonderful products, but it doesn't have the heritage. So Genesis is making some great stuff here, but it's going to take years, if not decades, to build a following.